It's hard to suggest that we're still in a bull market, especially in cryptocurrency, because you've got Bitcoin that's dropped by more than 40%, you've got altcoins dropping by more than 50%, and yet there's still conversations around how this is still technically a long-term bull market. Now, keeping this in mind, we've still got retail money sort of flowing out, and they're probably going more into like NFTs, but then you've still got a lot of smart money, big whales still buying up the dip. In this video, I want to showcase to you how I'm navigating the next couple of months in crypto, why I believe, yes, we are technically in a bear market, and discuss whether it's still a good time to be buying crypto in 2022 if we are expecting 85% drops coming later this year. If you're interested, keep watching. Hey guys, my name's Ravi and welcome back to Personal Finance with Ravi Sharma. If you're new here, smash that subscribe button because I talk about real estate, cryptocurrency, and financial freedom. Now, it's quite easy to see a market go up, go down, and then have your emotions all locked in with price action. This is one thing that we are trying to avoid, especially when we're investing into assets long term. So if you are interested in getting the daily logical talk from myself, then definitely join the VIP Patreon group, which I'll link in the description below. And it's about $49 a month, which sounds like a lot, but when you're really putting in thousands and thousands of dollars into a market that you're emotionally going to get triggered to sell, then it might be worthwhile to join that group, because we not only talk about crypto, we talk about NFTs, the Australian economy, and from a macro perspective, how are we navigating the next couple of months in any of the asset classes we're investing into. So definitely join that community. So if you're interested in actually knowing why we've dropped in the market and why there's so much bearish sentiment when we were promised a parabolic move and 2022 was going to be great, why have markets started to tank? This is not just crypto specific, it's also to do with the share market. But if you are interested in that information, I just made a video about that, so definitely go check that out. I'll link it up here and there should be a link in the description below as well. So let's take a step back. 2017, things are calm, it's all good, and we've suddenly had parabolic growth across all altcoins, cryptocurrency all through the roof, and that's probably the first time most of us heard about Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Cardano in 2018. So 2017, we absolutely take off and we top out in 2018. And from there, we drop about 85% on Bitcoin and then about 95 to 99% on most altcoins. Now, I'm not sure about you, but I definitely don't want to be buying into an asset that I know is going to drop by 99%. That's where I'm going, well, I need to know what's happening in the market, what's my long-term vision for the plan here, and if there is an opportunity to sell at the top, I definitely want to take it. So now that we've seen the timings being 2017, everyone promised us 4 years later, we're going to top out in 2022 in January. In fact, now we've got Bitcoin sitting at about 36,000 USD, which is about 48% from its top of 69,000. The question needs to be asked, was 69,000 the top?
69,000. It's interesting how that's the top, huh?
So if we are to consider that 69,000 was the top and the 4-year cycle keeps playing out, then technically an 85% drop from there would take us to $10,350 for Bitcoin. That doesn't happen overnight, it happens over time. And usually it's about 12 months from the top to the bottom, which is the bear market lows, and then from there we start rebuilding for the next cycle. So if that were to play out, then we would probably see the low of 10,350 by the time we would come into Q4 of 2022, which is later this year. So if we already know this, why are people still buying the dip? Why is it still a good time to buy crypto now? And why is it that despite fear being at all-time high, consumer sentiment down, that we still expect that we could go parabolic at any moment now? Well, there's a few things we need to consider. We need to ask ourselves a few questions. One, was $69,000 the top for Bitcoin? Will crypto drop by 85% this time? And what if $36,000 is already the low? All of these factors have one thing in common. Well, I mean two, because one is that nobody, and I mean nobody, knows what this market's going to do next. And number two is that you're trying to time the market. You've heard this time and time again. Timing the market versus time in the market, which one wins? Well, if you can get best of both worlds, then of course you're gonna win. But if you can't time the market, and again, if you try and pick bottoms, you're gonna get smelly fingers. So there must be another way, a method to this madness, and whether it's Australian property, whether it's ETFs, shares, or crypto, there needs to be another strategy, and you've heard of it already. It's dollar cost averaging. This is where you're actually going out there, periodically purchasing an asset, investing into an asset, and not actually getting emotional about the price changes and volatility. You just go in there, periodically keep buying, and you remove the emotion, and you just make that logical decision. In fact, if you were to take on that sort of strategy, especially with crypto, you probably do quite well because you're not continuing to look at the prices. Now, when I look at some of the NFT projects specifically that I bought and I actually went and flipped, if I had just held onto those initial basket of NFTs, my returns could have been a lot higher than me going in and out. And this is what we see traditionally in markets that are so volatile, because people try and time the markets, because the volatility means you can swing trade quite a bit in such a short amount of time. You don't really see that with Australian property, which is why people hold, and they hold for such long periods of time that over time they've just got it in the background and they come to a nice surprise when they get to 50 and 60 and they go,
wow, Australian property is not so bad now, huh?
Now, one of the easiest ways that you can actually go out and just dollar cost average into Bitcoin, Ethereum, and maybe some bundles as well for NFT and Metaverse is just to go in and set up a reoccurring buy on CoinSpot. That's the exchange I use. I've been using it for years. And so what you would do is you would go across and you go, when you've logged in, you go through, select your account, and you can find here reoccurring buy. Once you've got that, you actually set up the AUD deposit that you want to ensure that gets, deposited. And then you can go in here and figure out what dates that you want to purchase, what time, and the frequency at which you would like to make that reoccurring buy. This is very easy to set up, and I'll leave a link in the description below to a video I've made about this as well previously. But over here, you can just fill out your details, and once you've got confirm reoccurring buy, all it does is that it communicates with your bank to take out that money to then go ahead and purchase reoccurring buys. The actual process to set it all up is like less than 5 minutes. It means that you're continuously buying. Maybe you're going out there and you're doing your day job. You're like, I really don't know what projects to want to research all the time. I want to stick to Bitcoin and Ethereum, but I also don't want to miss out on the big price action. I want a dollar cost average, but I don't want to actively go in, log in, and do all that. So having it set up like this means it just keeps doing its thing in the background weekly or monthly, and just have it set up reoccurring and doing its thing. Now, if you are interested in getting started with CoinSpot, I've got numerous videos on this channel about how to get started and whatnot. You can simply look at the cryptocurrency playlist that I've got on the channel. And in addition to that, there's a link in the description below where you can actually get $10 of free Bitcoin to get you started on your financial free journey. Now, to illustrate how important dollar cost averaging is, I'm going to show you a graph right now, and I'm going to break it down for you to see how it would have worked out if you started this a few years ago, what you would be looking at right now. We all know that in 2018, we had this parabolic move, but then we did have a decline of 85%. So if you were someone that just hodled and you just held your bags, what could that actually look like if you continued having conviction in that play and continued purchasing up? So for this example, we've got accumulating for 5 years, and we're actually going to start on the 1st of 2018, right? So 1st of Jan 2018, you've heard about it for the first time and you got in. Now, we know that at that point, we were getting really toppy. We got to the top and then we collapsed after that for 85%. So what would our returns look like despite buying the top? Well, if we continued purchasing every single month and we accumulated for 5 years, it would take us to where we're at today. And that would mean this green line here is how much we've actually invested, and that would work out to be 49 months. So 49 months, $1,000 per month, so you put in $49,000. That would now be worth $304,058, which would be a 520% change. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't know of many assets, if any, that have been growing so consistently over the last couple of years. So if you can go in and you purchase an asset that can 5x over the next 5 years, despite buying at the worst time of the market, because you continued having conviction in that play, dollar cost average, you've now got to a point where despite all the volatility, you would be up 5x. To put it into context, say you started and you've put in 100K at the end of this year, you would then have a 5x return, which would mean 100K times by 5, which is $500,000. You're not getting those sort of returns in shares, ETFs, and you're probably not looking at that in Australian property without having to take out debt and having that leverage return. Now, although there's pros and cons for everything, you've got to always look at your own risk appetite. Now, I don't give financial advice, so definitely don't take 2 minutes of this video and say, oh my God, he gave me financial advice. That's what I'm gonna do. No, don't do that. What you need to do is you need to figure out if ETFs is better suited for your strategy and risk appetite. That might be the best way for you to go. Or if it's, hey, I want to buy Australian real estate, traditional markets, I want to go out and leverage, then you could go down that path. And for others, if you wanted to go and do those two things and diversify by putting $1,000 a month, just have it on the reoccurring buy, have it just do its thing, you would then be able to come back and say, well, that $50,000 I've invested is now worth 304.
That's a nice little holiday.
Now, in addition to this, if I was navigating the crypto bear market and we are to go into the bear market now, why I think it's still a good time to be buying, I will continue dollar cost averaging, but I'll also compound that with earning passive income. The fact that you can earn passive income and stake across multiple platforms means that you're going to have a lot more as a return later on with the least amount of effort. So if you do want to check out that video, I've got a link in the description below. I'll have it pop up here, and if you sign up on there, you'll get $50 of free Bitcoin.
What's not to love, guys? Free money, free Bitcoin, it's all great.
But I hope you've enjoyed this video. Again, I know there's so many people that are scared out there. Definitely watch the video I've made previous on this channel about why the markets could drop by 85% now. Maybe it can't, maybe it can, who knows, but I'm going to continue dollar cost averaging throughout the bear market. And if we go full bull mode and go parabolic, I'll definitely be letting you guys know in the Patreon when I'm taking profits. Thank you so much, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks, guys.